obviously Puff has a lot more going on currently. I don't think he gives a fuck about that photo with more accusations coming out. We recorded this on Wednesday, December 6th, and Puff did reply, which I believe was on his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Julian, we pull up his response.
Yep.
In the past few days, there have been, of course, more women coming out, more lawsuits, and Puff posted today, December 6th, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and the truth. Signed, Sean Diddy Combs." Damn, it's not love?
Love.
Well, no, you would have to
Because do another rebrand.
Signing that as love would be crazy.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, Maul, you and I got on here, and a big point that we did make, if you and I were ever to be accused of this type of stuff, we would fuck what lawyers saying. We would immediately come out and be like, I did not do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm here to take this as far as y'all want to go.
Mhm.
I'm not settling at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think Puff is saying this specifically about all the new allegations, or is this also within to the Cassie allegations that he already settled on?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not a lawyer, but if you already settled that,
Speculating.
it's
There's an NDA, I'm sure.
there's an NDA, but if you settle, that usually, I know legally no, but that usually is an admission of guilt on some of the things in the lawsuit. Maybe not all, maybe some, because you did settle, you didn't fight it, so it's like, okay, let's just settle this, whatever, out of court. Cool. Now there's been more allegations, there's been more victims coming forward, and now Puff has decided to, post on his social media and basically say that he is not guilty of any of the allegations.
Mhm.
Now, pictures have been released that were in the lawsuit. This is a picture of a unidentified young lady who they're saying was 17 at the time, sitting on his lap. Obviously in the studio, hanging out. She alleges that she was sexually assaulted in the bathroom of the studio by multiple people. Was flown, I think, from Detroit
I believe that's
to New York.
Mhm.
So, this is something I think that we're going to have to sit back and watch it unfold. Obviously, Puff has now spoken, in some sense, in some manner, he has posted on the social media saying that none of this is true and saying that enough is enough. And now he's going to fight for his name and his reputation, which is something that I said when we first talked about this, is something that we need to hear from. We need to hear from Puff. I don't want to hear from lawyers. I want to hear directly from one of the kings of our culture, one of the guys that we've idolized, one of the guys that we've looked up to for so many years. And he obviously has a platform. He has a television network. So he has more space and opportunity to sit and address the culture than most of us do.
Does this change whether you feel like, sorry to interrupt you, does it change whether you feel like he's guilty or not?
Does what change?
Does it change your opinion of whether he's guilty or not?
No, I need to hear more than enough is enough.
And also, two things can be true. I want to choose my words very correctly, because I'm not discrediting at all what Miss Doe is saying within these allegations at all. But we can feel how we feel about the Cassie thing for multiple reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then see that he's responding to these of, hey, I'm going to fight this and I'm going to see this one through. Okay. He has the right to do so.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm not saying otherwise.
And I want to
due process is something I do believe in.
Absolutely.
And for all the people on the internet that killed Maul and I and made us into something that we aren't, because we are people that believe in due process and that things can be alleged and not be true. That was gone once the settlement happened, and there's no settlement here. So I can also believe Cassie and then say, if you're going to do your due process thing here, then let's see it out.
No, that's what I said.
Because he didn't post this when the Cassie thing happened.
Right.
Because I will say, if he posted this when the Cassie thing happened, it wouldn't have changed my opinion per se, but I would have happily said, due process. You have to hear both sides of this. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of evidence in what Cassie was saying. Of course, Puff is entitled to his side of that. Mm-hmm. But once the settlement happens, it does change things. Whether y'all want to agree with me or not, that's fine. It's your own opinion. it changes things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And especially after you settle with one thing, and then when a bunch of other stuff comes, now you're ready to fight. I don't know if it gives more validity to what Maul and I were saying before, but I think Puff is allowed a defense, as everyone is.
And
So,
and now
it's
we're
not
up
to
to
discredit this woman where it's like, oh, we believe Cassie because Cassie is Cassie, and we don't believe her because she's Miss Doe and we don't know her. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just different if Puff wants to go the distance and tell his side. Then let's hear it.
That's all I'm saying. Like because again, we've seen these things before. We've seen allegations and things like that, and then we've seen the alleged assault. The person that is accused of doing these things just disappear for some time, kind of stay out of the radar. We've seen it happen, and then all of a sudden come back and all is forgotten. Everybody's moved on. And with allegations like this on somebody of this magnitude that has been at the forefront of our culture since I was a kid, we need more than an Instagram post. This is a start. This is obviously him publicly standing on his name and his reputation, which is okay, good. But now if we're going to talk about it, we got to talk about all of it.
Yeah. Well, this is him now saying whereas before it was a settlement that happened very fast. Now he's laying claim and saying he's willing to fight. So now we know he's not in the mood or at least willing to settle. So we should expect to hear more if these other women, now we're up to 4 allegations, do file lawsuits. We should expect with this last line of his post here that he will fight for it. I would imagine the legal route rather than blowing up cars. But do we think he'll just do that quietly, or will he continue to be vocal throughout that whole process?
I don't know if it was on the episode that we discussed everything with Puff, or it was on Patreon when we discussed everything. But we did say after this settlement, plenty of women are going to come out. And some of them will very much be liars. And I'm not saying at all, so I want to choose my words carefully, that Miss Doe here is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what, let's call a spade a spade. There's plenty of cases where when women see a settlement happen, they will go above and beyond to try to get money.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where things get diluted, because I do think we are going to hear from Puff. And it's going to be on the cases that are bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be loud about these cases, as he should if they are absolutely false. But that's the problem.
But which is why I said, if we're going to talk about it,
when
let's
these
talk
women
about
are
all
going
of
to come, the women that are lying,
it.
it's hypothetical we're talking about here. I can totally see somebody, especially a lawyer, saying, well, let's be super active in the press with the one that we know is absolute bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You get all your shit off. You get your Jussie Smollett speech off in court if you want to, because we know this is bullshit. And that, when it comes to the court of public opinion, will build your reputation back up, because it'll be like, hey, look, this one was clearly bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can question everything that's real.
Right.
So I think people will be very, very vocal about the women that are just here for a payday. Because two things can be true. I think there's plenty of women just looking for a payday from Puff. I believe Cassie, but I also believe that side as well.
Right.
Now we can be super vocal about the ones here for a payday, because we could discredit that shit in 2 fucking seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that happen in the music business plenty of times, where there is real accusations, and then we do a whole press release from the label when it's some bullshit that an artist beats.
No, Rory and